Hi everybody, and welcome back to First Chapter Friday. This month we are going to be reading Kenny and the Book of Beasts by Tony DiTerlizzi. And to be honest with you, one of the main reasons I chose this book this month is because I love this author. This author wrote the Spiderwick Chronicles, which is one of my favorite series. So I figured if I like the Spiderwick series so much, why not try this one? Sometimes that's a great way to try a book. Now, this one's going to be a little different because it has a little short introduction before the first chapter, so I'm actually going to do both this month. Okay, let's get started. Okay, we're going to start with the introduction called I Haven't Forgotten. I know. It's been some time since I, Flit Shrewsbury, royal historian for the king, have shared a story of young Kenny Rabbit. Although I've gathered all the details for this adventure, I'm more of a participant than a narrator. So without further ado, my trusted apprentice shall describe the events as they happened. You may have heard tale of Kenny and his close-knit family who live in Roundbrook. It's a quaint, circular-shaped town. Parish Creek runs right through the middle of it. If you asked him, Kenny would say his best friend is Graham. He's a kind-hearted dragon who arrived on Old Rabbit Farm several years ago, much to the distress of local townsfolk. Thankfully, Kenny and his family and friends, as well as the retired knight Sir George, put on a performance of a lifetime to show that in reality, not all dragons are the vicious beasts depicted in fairy tales. After visiting with His Majesty King Stonehorn and the royal family, Kenny and company returned home to their sleepy little town. Well, it was a sleepy little town until word spread that a friendly, fire-breathing dragon had taken up residence. Graham's days were spent receiving far-flung fans and other adoring visitors, which suited him just fine. His friends transformed his cave into an amphitheater where Graham would recite poetry and reenact scenes from his favorite plays. The influx of tourists meant that Old Rabbit Farm could expand its enterprise. Not only did the sheep erect their own stables to spin wool, but several cows moved in. Now, a dairy farm requires extra paws to get the chores done, and sure enough, with the addition of 12 new bunnies to the rabbit family, things are really hopping. You get it? How I said hopping? Because they're like rabbits and all. Oh, never mind. Certainly, Kenny has had to adjust to his new home life. Suddenly overrun with a dozen sisters. Simply remembering who's who is a chore unto itself. There's Karen and Cammie, Ketty, Katie, Kizzy, Kitty, Catherine, Kelly, Katrina, Kendall, Kristen, and Kay. Our story begins with the entire rabbit family climbing aboard their sheep-drawn cart to attend Roundbrook's annual harvest festival. And now we move into chapter 1. Wait for me. Hurry, Ma! The front door banged shut behind Kenny's father, who scooped up an armload of bunnies on his way to the cart. I don't want to be late like we were for the Corncob Festival. We've got plenty of time. Kenny's mother tightened the knot on her kerchief and began helping each of her little ones onto the cart. Careful now, Katie, don't step on your sister. I'm Cammie, Mama. She's Katie. The bunny pointed to another. Am not, she is. This bunny then pointed to yet another, who had pried off the lid of a wooden crate on the back of the cart and began pulling out woolen mittens and scarves that she had found inside. Their mother returned the clothes to the crate and secured the lid. Don't muss the winter wear we knitted. We're donating those to the less fortunate. Remember, Katie? I'm Kendall, not Katie, and I don't want to go to the festival. The bunny folded her arms and she scowled. Katie's with me, Ma, said Kenny Rabbit over the din. He hopped down from the porch with one little sister perched on his shoulders and a kit under each arm. Yet another rode on his foot, clutching his leg. He slogged over to the cart where they scrambled off him and on to the others. Kenny joined his parents at the front seat of the cart. "Mama," said one of the bunnies, "how come he gets to sit up there with you?" "I want to sit up there too," said another, and climbed toward the front seat. "You'll sit down right where you are, Missy," the mother replied. "When you're older, you can ride up here. After all, Kenny is almost finished with school. Why, you have all just begun preschool." "Thank goodness," said Kenny's father under his breath. "I can finally get my work done in peace and quiet." He patted the sheep. "You good to go, Marino?" "I think I can handle it," replied the sheep, and he trotted down the drive, pulling the overloaded cart behind him. The morning mist lifted to reveal leaves of orange, gold, and scarlet speckled across Shepherd's Hill. The cart creaked past wilting wildflowers and weeds that drooped over the dirt road. Hidden under swaying blooms of goldenrod, a trio of crickets sang a slow, sad reminiscence of summer days. "Is Graham joining us?" asked Kenny's mother. "Yeah, he's going to meet us there." "Good." She brushed fallen maple leaves from her dress. "He can help you keep an eye on your sisters while I judge the annual pie baking contest." Kenny groaned. "Oh, do I have to? We haven't hung out since school started, and Charlotte's been, oh, no sass. You'll have plenty of time to goof around with your friends afterward." "But can't Pa watch them?" "I have to bring the clothes over to the donations booth," said his father. "Just help me and your mother out, okay, Kit? You won't have any other chores today." Okay. Kenny yielded, his paws up. Marino's hooves clattered on the stone bridge that spanned Parish Creek. Kenny peered over the edge to see old Pop's possum fishing on the bank below. Kenny liked seeing Pops in the same spot that he'd fished for as long as he could remember. Old Pops tipped his hat as they went and Marino's hooves clattered on the stone bridge that spanned Parish Creek. Kenny peered over the edge to see old Pop's possum fishing on the bank below. Kenny liked seeing Pops in the same spot he'd fished at for as long as he could remember. Old Pops tipped his hat as they went by, and Kenny waved. "Who is it?" Kendall watched Kenny. "I want to say hi." All 12 sisters leaned over the side of the cart and waved at Pops. "Hello!" they called down. Startled by the outspurt, Pops drops his fishing rod in the creek. Kenny's father steered the cart through the crowded streets that led into Round Brook. "Wow! Where'd all these folks come from?" "I haven't seen it busy like this since the parade for George," added his mother. The town's welcome sign was decorated with bales of hay, piles of pumpkins, and stalks of dried corn. Behind it lay the commons, which were bordered with colorful tents and games booth. Carnival rides wheeled and whirred at the center of the field. Kenny's father thanked Marino and hitched the cart, while Kenny hopped down to help his sisters out. He heard a deep inhalation of breath overhead. Don't you love the smell of fried food? Graham wafted the scent toward his nostrils. "As far as I'm concerned, everything should be cooked in a fryer." "Yeah, it should." Kenny rubbed his paws together. "Okay, I think we need to ride the Ferris wheel first, or maybe the whip, or maybe we could go find Charlotte or Gam." Kenny's sisters sprang from the cart and hopped around the towering teal dragon. They sang, "Gam's here, Gam's here, Gam's here." "It's not Gam, it's Graham," said Kenny. "Like the cracker." Graham patted each bunny on the head. "They've been calling me Gam since they were wee cotton pups. I rather like it." His prehensile tail delivered a tray of overloaded with carnival treats. "Who wants funnel cake?" he asked. Me, the sisters clamored, their paws outstretched. Graham handed hunks of funnel cake to Kenny's sisters before stuffing his own face with pretzels, fried dough, and cotton candy. He spoke through a mouthful of food. So, what are we going to do first? Powdered sugar just puffed from his mouth like smoke. Don't eat too much junk food. Kenny's mother snatched the funnel cake from her daughters. You'll get a stomachache. Or maybe just a little heartburn, Graham said with a burp. A flame danced on his tongue, and Kenny snorted with laughter. Kenny's mother shook her head at the sophomoric humor, then kissed her kits goodbye. Do what your brother says, and I'll see you soon. Kenny's father picked up the stacks of boxes from the cart. Okay, Kit, I'm going to drop off Ma's donations, and then I'm going to get some apple fritters. Don't let your sisters run off. And he called that over his shoulder as he wobbled off. Graham, give him a hand. He gonna need it. You're looking at Red Brook's best bunny sitter. Do not fret, Graham said with a salute. Kenny smirked. While watching his parents disappear into the crowd, he listened to screams of delight mixed with calliope music as rides whipped and whirled their passengers. One of Kenny's sisters, Kitty, tugged his paw and pointed to a passing festival goer adorned with a silly balloon hat. I want one of those. Okay, we'll get one later. After Graham and I, look, you get him over there. Another sister, Catherine, pointed to a gaudy fellow surrounded by a horde of youngsters, twisting long, colorful balloons into shapes. Ugh, said Kenny, but look at the crowd. We'll be waiting forever. Let's go on a ride instead. I want that funny hat, the sisters whined in unison. Well, Ma said that you have to do what I say. And I say we're going on a ride, replied Kenny. Balloon hats would be fun, said Graham. Besides, how can you say no to those sweet little faces? It's not that hard, Kenny replied. Oh, come on. Graham spoke in a persuasive tone. You know you want one. Kenny gave a reluctant smile to his friend and said, okay, let's go. Graham addressed the sisters. All right, my little maidens, who wants to ride the dragon train? The bunnies squealed with excitement and climbed onto Graham's tail. Kenny led them toward the balloon twister, pulling a handful of coins from his pocket. He handed one to each of his sisters as they hopped off of Graham. Drop this in the hat, then tell him what you want him to make for you. And hurry up, okay? Kenny and Graham watched as the balloon twister created swords, flowers, and animals for all 12 sisters. While they were busy showing one another their creations, the twister presented Kenny and his friend with complimentary balloons. A pair of rabbit ears for Graham the Great, he said, tying the ears onto Graham's horns, and a dragon helmet for Kenny Rabbit. Donning his ridiculous hat, Kenny cleared his throat, stood tall. I am Gam, the benevolent dragon, and I just love toasting creme brulee with my nose fire. And I am Kenny Rabbit, bibliophile, bicycle enthusiast, and big brother to 12 silly little sisters, said Graham, imitating Kenny's voice. You guys are the ones who are silly, said Kay. The sisters laughed and chased after their brother, who ran around and around Graham. Kenny Rabbit, are you having fun without me? Kenny turned to see Charlotte's smiling face. Her cotton dress fluttered in the breeze while she sipped a bottle of root beer from a striped paper straw. You ran right past me and you weren't even going to say hi? She said. The tips of Kenny's ears grew hot under his balloon hat. He gave a sheepish smile and waved. Hi, Kenny, I have to go to the bathroom. His sister Katrina appeared out of nowhere and tugged on his shirt. In a minute, okay? Look who's here. It's Char. I have to go now. His sister started dancing in circles. Kenny and Kizzy joined her, announcing that they had to go too. It's all right, Kenny. Charlotte tried to conceal her little giggle. I can wait. Kenny blushed but said nothing. He took his sisters by the paw and rushed off to find the outhouses. Charlotte sure is nice, said Kitty. I want to be like her when I grow up. Me too. The others chimed in as they entered the outhouse. Just hurry up, okay? Kenny closed the door behind them. While he waited for his sisters, he watched Charlotte from across the commons. She began chattering with a group of friends that he didn't recognize. They were probably her new classmates from her new school. You see, Kenny had been looking forward to finally attending the same school as Charlotte, but before the year started, her parents switched her to another with a more robust arts program. Nowadays, Kenny scarcely saw her, and when he did, all she talked about was her new school. He watched Charlotte follow her friends to the roller coaster. So much waiting for me, he thought. And that is the end of chapter 1 of Kenny and the Book of Beasts. Now, as of right now, Kenny and the Book of Beasts is only available in a physical book format. So if you do want to read it, go ahead, come in the library, or get on the hold list for it if there's a hold list. But I also wanted to show you that there's so many illustrations in this book. It seems like every time you turn a page or two, you're hitting some really good images that go along really well with the story. So I wanted to show that to you as well. So I hope you liked what you heard today, and happy listening. I'll talk to you later. Bye-bye.